Well, hey, friends, we are back with yet another Ask the Pastor question, and I love the one that came in today. It looks like it's actually from a high school student, which I think is so fun that we've got students engaging with this show. And what they want to know is, Pastor Katy, I'm about to graduate high school, and I am thinking about going into ministry and potentially being a pastor one day. What advice do you have? Oh my gosh, I love this. I love that the next generation still is looking to wanting to be into vocational ministry. I think the church has taken a hard hit in its reputation over the past several years, and so the fact that there are still people who are excited about church and about the local church and discipleship and spreading the gospel, that just makes my heart happy. And so, yes, I could speak for hours on all of the advice that I have for you. Number one, congrats on graduating high school. Big accomplishment. I think my main portion of advice would be, number one, please go get educated. I think the worst thing that has happened in the Christian world is just a lot of TikTok influencers and things like that who are spouting things about the Bible that they know nothing about and that aren't actually true. So find yourself a really good seminary who knows their stuff, who can take you through Old Testament theology, New Testament theology, how those work together. Some biblical languages would be good. And then also make sure that your seminary, whatever you go to, also has a very pastoral side to their ministry. I think what a lot of people don't understand is, like, my job is not primarily studying the Bible. That's not what I spend the majority of my time doing. The majority of my time is spent with people. Just a couple weeks ago, my whole week is I spent time walking with someone through a potential separation. I spent time in a hospital. I spent time fielding phone calls for people who are not doing well. And that's the majority of the job. Like, to be a pastor is to be with people. And any pastor who is not with their people isn't worth their salt. And so I would say that learning the theology is obviously a really important part, but really build that muscle of compassion and empathy in yourself and go get experience. Like, one of the best things that you could do is go and sit with a chaplain who often goes to scenes of car accidents with first responders, or who goes through hospitals, and job shadow them for a day and see what they do, see the depth of humanity and human life that they have to deal with, because those are many of the things that you're about to walk into if you decide to pursue being a pastor. Pastorship is a lot more about people than it is about studying the Bible and presenting the Bible every week. That's just a very small portion of my job in comparison to spending time with my congregation or people in our community. I would say another thing for you to consider is just your character and your integrity. This job, in all sincerity, will steal your soul if you don't do what I think it's 2 Timothy says, is guard your life and your doctrine closely. This is a job that really does take a lot from you. I'm not trying to be dramatic. I'm just trying to be honest, since you asked the question. But this job really does require a lot from you. Like I said, it's a lot of time. It's a lot of emotional energy spent with people. It's seeing some of the darkest parts of humanity and trying to point people towards the light. There's a lot of times where my phone might ring at midnight. People are trying to get a hold of you on your day off, and your time is often not your own. And so you have to be really good at setting your own boundaries, stewarding your own personal wellness. Make sure you have a really good therapist to talk with. Make sure you exercise. Make sure you eat good foods. Make sure you don't lose your hobbies. Like, I love to play golf. I love to read. Make sure you don't lose yourself in the process of taking care of other people. That can make this job really hard. But also, I would say, don't lose your integrity. It's really easy to let your platform outpace your character. And I think that's what we've seen in the church over the last 10 years is a lot of really charismatic, good communicators, but who didn't have the character built up. And so when hard times came, or when times in their marriage were tough, or when they didn't, my story is that, like, I was single for a long time. I didn't think I was going to get married. I got really mad at God and really had to question, like, God, I'm pastoring, I'm doing all these things for you. Why isn't this happening? And when that storm came, I had to take a good hard look at my character and my integrity and go, okay, like, am I going to steward my sexuality well, even in this season as a pastor, as I'm preaching this to other people? Am I going to cope in an unhealthy way, or am I going to choose to depend on God and do what he says and stay obedient and cope in a healthy way with these kinds of things? And so that's what I mean. Like, don't let your platform outpace your character. Your platform will always be there. It is very easy to bring a crowd, right? All you have to do is yell help or start a fire and a crowd will show up. It's a lot harder to steward your own soul in those moments of despair that will come, and those hard moments that will come, for you to be able to stand and have integrity, or even in those hard conversations. Like, there are going to be times as a leader where not everyone agrees with you, not everyone can see the vision that you see, and you're going, hey guys, like, please trust me. I know this sounds wild, but like, I really believe this can work. You're going to have to navigate hard conversations with employees. You're going to have to know how to lead teams. And so all of those things just require a lot of empathy, a lot of compassion, a lot of integrity. It also requires the ability to compartmentalize. Like, there are just times where you have to be able just to put your stuff aside and just to hone in and to be there for another person. And that's a very learned skill. Like, you have to do that. And so that's why I say, go sit with a therapist. I see a therapist every single Monday. And my advice to anyone going into ministry is find a therapist before you do it. It will be the best thing you've ever done. The last piece of advice, because I know all that stuff has been kind of sad, but it's the reality. It's stuff that I wish I would have known. Like, I got into ministry at a pretty large church. I had a pretty large platform, and a lot of what I saw was just the fun stuff, right? You see them speaking. I got to lead worship. I got to go to camps and do all this stuff. And like, all of that is part of the job. But what you don't see are the harder things, or the hospital visits, the hard decisions. What do you do when you don't make budget? And so, I don't want to be a downer, but I do want to give you the reality of just what the job is like, so that you can prepare your soul well for whatever might come towards you. But I will say this: best job in the world. Literally cannot think of anything else that I would rather do with my life than pastor people, than be there. Like, the fact that I get to see babies born and be at the hospital for that too, like, that's a great hospital visit. I get to do their baby dedication. I get to do premarital counseling and encourage young couples. I get to marry them and officiate their weddings. Like, I get to go to graduations. In just a few weeks ago, I got to go to like a pastor appreciation ceremony for one of our elementary school kids who invited me to do that. And he was just like, Pastor Katy, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm glad you're here. And it's so fun. And so you get to see, along with the depths of people's lives, like, you get to experience the highest of highs. You're going to have more fun than you have ever had in your whole life if you do choose to become a pastor and go into ministry, if you steward it well, and if you find a community of people who are with you and who are for you and who will just let you be yourself. You are going to have the time of your life. Even on my worst day as a pastor, there is no other job that I would ever consider doing. And you're not going to make a lot of money, okay? And even with that, like, there's nothing else I would rather do. There is nothing cooler than this. And so, hey, high schooler, whoever you are, I'm super excited for you. If you need support, if you need a pastor to sit down with, if you need a church to plug into who will give you opportunities to learn what it's like to run a budget, run a youth ministry, run different things like this, let me know. I'll give you that opportunity. I'm always looking for someone in the next generation who I can come alongside, because I had so many people do that for me as I was coming up in ministry, and I am very grateful that they let me stand on their shoulders, and now I want to let someone else stand on mine, and I want my ceiling to become your floor. And so I'm very excited for you. Again, if there's any way that I can help, if I can point you towards a good seminary, a good church, a good internship, good experiences, anything like that, let me know. And man, hey, for the rest of you, please tell your pastor, whoever they are, that you appreciate them. They really do work really hard. I know that a lot of times you hear all the bad stories about churches and pastors and all the things going on, but like, the majority of pastors are working really, really hard, and they do really honest work, and they're amazing people. So just tell them you're thankful for them. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you on Thursday for our next full episode.